The three small creatures sat very still at the big desk. Their blue fur trembled slightly as they waited. The oldest one, whose name was Pip, kept his large eyes fixed on the door. His two younger siblings pressed close to him on either side. The room was quiet except for the soft hum of the station's air system. The desk in front of them was made of some kind of dark wood from a planet they had never seen. On top of it sat a small plant with green leaves, a clear cup half full of brown liquid, and several thin rectangular objects that their teacher had called books. Pip's ears twitched. He was scared, but he tried not to show it. His brother Tico and sister Mimi were even more frightened. He could feel them shaking against him. "Where is Teacher Vaughn?" Mimi whispered. Her voice was so soft it was almost silent. "He had to go to an emergency meeting," Pip whispered back. "He said someone would come to watch us." "The human?" Tico asked. His eyes grew even wider. Pip nodded slowly. He did not want to say it out loud, but yes, it was the human who was supposed to come, Ambassador Minji from the planet called Earth. All three cubs had heard the stories. Everyone in the galaxy knew about humans. They were the newest species to join the Galactic Council, and they were dangerous. Humans came from a death world where everything tried to kill everything else. They were predators with forward-facing eyes and strong bodies. They ate meat. They had conquered their entire planet before reaching the stars. Teacher Vaughn had told them not to worry. He said humans were civilized now. They followed the laws of the Council. But Pip had seen the way Teacher Vaughn's scales had changed color when he said it. Teacher Vaughn was nervous too. The station corridor outside was busy. They could hear footsteps passing by, voices speaking in different languages, the beep of doors opening and closing. But no one came into this office. Minji's office was smaller than Teacher Vaughn's classroom. The walls were covered with images from Earth. Pip had studied some of them while they waited. One image showed a big blue and green ball floating in space. That was Earth. Another showed tall buildings reaching up into a pink sky. There were images of strange Earth creatures too. Some had 4 legs and fur. Some had wings. One had a very long neck. "What if she eats us?" Mimi whispered. "She won't eat us," Pip said, trying to sound brave. "Humans don't eat people anymore." "Anymore?" Tico squeaked. Pip wished he had not said that part. The story said that long ago in Earth's ancient past, some humans had done terrible things. But that was thousands of years ago. Humans were different now. At least that was what the teacher said. The clock on the wall ticked quietly. Each tick sounded very loud to Pip's sensitive ears. They had been waiting for almost 30 minutes now. Teacher Vaughn's emergency meeting had started suddenly. A diplomat from the Selthor Empire had collapsed during a council session. Teacher Vaughn, who knew medicine, had rushed away immediately. He had brought the 3 cubs here and told them to wait. "Ambassador Minji will be here in 5 minutes, Teacher Vaughn had said. She is expecting you. Do not leave this office. Do not touch anything. Be polite." But 30 minutes had passed and no human had arrived. Pip was starting to think maybe she had forgotten about them. Or maybe she did not want to watch over 3 small Vrexian cubs. Humans were important. They had technology that amazed even the oldest species in the galaxy. They had ships that moved faster than anything else. They had weapons that could destroy moons. Why would such a powerful being care about babysitting? Mimi sneezed. It was a tiny sound, but in the quiet office it seemed loud. She looked embarrassed and buried her face in Pip's fur. "It's okay," Pip said softly. He put his small arm around her. Tico was looking at the books on the desk. He reached out one paw toward them, then remembered Teacher Vaughn's words and pulled back. "I want to go home," Mimi whispered. "Soon," Pip promised, though he did not know if it was true. Their home was on a transport ship 3 docking bays away. Their parents were both working. Father was repairing navigation systems and Mother was preparing meals for the ship's crew. They would not be finished for hours. The cubs had been so excited to visit the Galactic Council station. It was enormous, bigger than any ship. Thousands of different species lived and worked here. There were parks with plants from 100 worlds. There were restaurants serving food from across the galaxy. There were museums and schools and meeting halls. Teacher Vaughn had brought his class of young Vrexians to learn about galactic government. They had toured the council chambers. They had seen diplomats from species the cubs had only read about. They had eaten lunch in a cafeteria where the Threen people served food that floated in the air. It had been the best day of Pip's life, until now. Now he just wanted his parents. Another 10 minutes passed. The brown liquid in the cup on the desk had stopped steaming. The plant's leaves drooped slightly. Pip's legs were getting sore from sitting so still, but he was afraid to move. "What if she's not coming?" Tico asked. Pip did not have an answer. He was starting to wonder the same thing. Maybe there had been a mistake. Maybe Teacher Vaughn had told them the wrong office. Maybe footsteps in the corridor. Fast footsteps running. All three cubs froze. The footsteps stopped right outside the door. There was a beeping sound as someone entered a code into the lock. The door slid open with a soft whoosh, and there, breathing hard and looking very rushed, stood the human. She was taller than Pip had expected. Much taller. She had to duck slightly to come through the doorway. Her skin was pale, not covered in fur or scales. Her hair was black and long, pulled back but messy. Her eyes were dark, and yes, they faced forward like a predator's eyes. She wore clothing in dark colors. Around her neck hung a small badge that identified her as Ambassador Minji, representative of Earth. She stood in the doorway, one hand on the frame, trying to catch her breath. In her other hand, she clutched a small tablet that showed some kind of schedule display. The three cubs pressed even closer together. Mimi made a small, frightened sound. The human's eyes found them. For a moment, everyone was completely still. Then the human's face changed. Her eyes went soft. Her mouth curved into a gentle shape. She stepped into the office and let the door close behind her, moving very slowly and carefully. "I am so sorry," she said. And her voice was much softer than Pip had expected. "I was supposed to be here 30 minutes ago. The transport broke down and I had to run all the way from Section 7. She moved toward the desk, then stopped when she saw how the cubs shrank back. "Oh no," she said quietly. "You're scared. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to frighten you." Pip wanted to say something brave, but his voice would not work. He just stared at the human, at this legendary predator from the death world who was standing very still and looking at them with what almost seemed like concern. Ambassador Minji slowly knelt down. She was still much bigger than the cubs, even on her knees, but she was trying to make herself smaller, trying to be less frightening. "My name is Minji," she said gently. "Teacher Vaughn asked me to watch over you while he helps at the medical emergency. You must be his students." She smiled, and Pip could see her teeth. They were white and flat, mostly, with slightly pointed ones at the corners. Predator teeth, but her eyes were kind. "What are your names?" Minji asked. Pip found his voice first, though it came out smaller than he wanted. "I am Pip," he said. "This is my brother Tico and my sister Mimi." Minji's smile grew warmer. "It is very nice to meet you, Pip, Tico, and Mimi. Those are beautiful names." She stayed kneeling on the floor. She did not move closer. She just waited there, letting them look at her. Pip appreciated that. It gave him time to study this human without feeling rushed. Minji looked tired. There were small drops of water on her forehead. Her breathing was still a bit fast from running. One of her shoes was untied. She had a small rip in her sleeve that looked fresh. "The transport really broke down," she said, noticing where Pip was looking. "I had to climb through a maintenance tunnel. It was not my best moment." She laughed a little. It was a soft sound, not scary at all. "I know I look a mess," Minji continued, "and I know I'm late. I'm really sorry about that. You three have been waiting here alone, and that must have been scary." Mimi made a small noise. Minji's eyes went to her immediately. "It's okay to be scared," Minji said gently. "I bet you've heard a lot of stories about humans. Some of them are probably pretty frightening." Pip was surprised. The human knew they were afraid? And she was talking about it openly? "I want you to know something," Minji said. She spoke slowly and clearly, making sure they could understand. "Those stories about humans being dangerous, some of them are true. Humans can be dangerous, but so can every species. What matters is what we choose to do with that." She shifted slightly, still keeping her distance. "I promise you that I will not hurt you. Teacher Vaughn trusted me to watch over you, and I take that very seriously. You are safe here." There was something in her voice that made Pip believe her. He felt his body relax just a tiny bit. Beside him, Tico's trembling had slowed down. Minji looked around her office. "Have you been sitting at my desk this whole time?" Pip nodded. "That must be uncomfortable," Minji said. "Would you like to move somewhere more comfortable? I have cushions over by the window. We could sit there instead." She pointed to the other side of the office. There was a large window that looked out into space. In front of it were several soft-looking cushions in different colors. Pip had not noticed them before. The cubs looked at each other. The cushions did look more comfortable than the hard desk. You don't have to if you don't want to, Minji added quickly. You can stay right where you are. Whatever makes you feel safest, but Pip was curious now, and the cushions really did look soft. He slid down from the desk carefully. Tico and Mimi followed him, staying close. Minji stood up slowly. She walked to the window area and sat down on one of the cushions. She left plenty of space for the cubs. They approached carefully, then settled onto the cushions at the far end, away from her. The view from the window was amazing. Pip could see stars everywhere. Other ships moved past the station. Some were huge cargo vessels. Others were small diplomatic shuttles. Far in the distance, a planet glowed with soft purple light. That's beautiful, isn't it? Minji said, looking at the view. I never get tired of it. Where I grew up on Earth, we couldn't see this many stars. Too much light from the cities. You grew up on Earth? Tico asked, then looked surprised that he had spoken. Minji nodded. I did, in a city called Seoul. It's very crowded. Lots of people and buildings. Were there other species there? Pip asked. He was becoming braver now. Not many, Minji said. Earth is still pretty new to the Galactic Council. Most humans haven't met aliens yet. I was lucky. I got to leave Earth and work here on the station. Do you miss it? Mimi asked quietly. Your home? Minji's face changed. She looked sad for a moment. Sometimes, she said. I miss my family. My parents and my younger brother. But I can talk to them on video calls, and I believe the work I do here is important. What work do you do? Pip asked. I help humans and other species understand each other, Minji explained. Humans are very different from most species in the galaxy. We think differently. We act differently. Sometimes that causes problems. My job is to help prevent those problems. She reached into her pocket and pulled out a small container. Speaking of which, are you three hungry? I have some snacks, the cubs perked up. They had not eaten since lunch, and that felt like a long time ago. Minji opened the container carefully. Inside were small round things in different colors. These are called rice crackers, she said. They're made from a grain we grow on Earth. They're crunchy and a little salty. Completely safe for Vrexians to eat. I checked with the medical database. She held out the container, keeping it at arm's length so the cubs did not have to come too close. Pip looked at his siblings. They looked back at him. He was the oldest. He should go first. He stood up and walked slowly toward Minji. She stayed very still, just holding the container. Pip reached out with his small paw and took one of the crackers. It felt light and dry. He stepped back and sniffed it. It smelled good, actually. Kind of like the grain cakes his mother made. He took a tiny bite. It was crunchy and salty, just like Minji had said. And it was delicious. Is it good? Tico called out. Pip nodded, taking another bite. That was all the encouragement his siblings needed. Soon all three cubs were eating rice crackers, making happy munching sounds. Minji smiled and ate one herself. These are my favorite snacks, she said. I always keep some in my desk. Why? Mimi asked between bites. Because meetings can be very long and boring, Minji said with a grin. Sometimes I need something to keep me awake. The cubs giggled. The idea of an important ambassador sneaking snacks during meetings was funny. Can I tell you a secret? Minji asked, leaning forward a little. The cubs leaned in too, curious. Most of the diplomats here are scared of me, Minji whispered. They think humans are these big dangerous creatures who might do something unpredictable. So when I go to meetings, everyone gets very serious and careful. But you're nice, Mimi said. Minji's smile was bright. Thank you, Mimi, I try to be. But many species see humans and only think about the scary parts. They forget that we can also be kind and funny and scared of things just like everyone else. What are humans scared of? Tico asked. He seemed amazed by the idea. Oh, lots of things, Minji said. I'm scared of heights. Can't stand them. Put me on a tall building and I freeze up. My brother is scared of insects, especially the flying ones. My mother is scared of medical procedures. Everyone is scared of something. This was new information to Pip. All the stories made humans sound fearless. But here was a human admitting she had fears. What about you three? Minji asked. Besides humans, what are you scared of? The dark, Mimi said immediately. I don't like it when the lights go off. Loud noises, Tico added. They hurt my ears. Pip thought about it. Being alone, he said finally. I don't like being by myself. Minji nodded seriously like these were very important fears. Those are all completely normal things to be scared of, she said. Fear is not a bad thing. It helps keep us safe. The trick is not letting fear stop us from doing important things. She finished her rice cracker and brushed the crumbs off her hands. Like today. You were scared of meeting me, but you did it anyway. That's very brave. We didn't have a choice, Pip pointed out. Sure you did, Minji said. You could have run away. You could have hidden under the desk. You could have refused to talk to me or eat my snacks. But instead you gave me a chance. That took courage. Pip had not thought of it that way. Maybe he had been brave. Teacher Vaughn will probably be gone for a while longer, Minji said. Would you like me to tell you a story while we wait? I could tell you about Earth if you're interested. The cubs looked at each other and nodded. They were interested. Minji settled more comfortably on her cushion. The cubs moved a little closer, though still keeping some distance. Earth is a very old planet, Minji began. Billions of years old. For most of that time, there were no humans at all. There were other creatures, though. Huge ones called dinosaurs. Dinosaurs? Pip repeated. He had never heard that word before. Giant reptiles, Minji explained. Some were bigger than this entire office. They had teeth as long as my arm and they ruled the planet for millions of years. The cub's eyes went wide. Tico made an impressed sound. But then something happened, Minji continued. A huge rock from space crashed into Earth. It was so big that it changed the whole planet. Most of the dinosaurs died. The planet became very cold and dark. That's sad, Mimi said. It was, Minji agreed. But life found a way to continue. Small creatures survived. They were animals covered in fur, about your size, actually. They lived in burrows underground and ate plants and insects. What happened to them? Tico asked. They changed, Minji said. Over millions of years they evolved. Some became bigger. Some became smarter. Eventually some of them became humans. She pointed to herself. All humans came from those small furry creatures. We're related to many other Earth species too. Monkeys, apes, even the small creatures humans keep as pets. So humans weren't always big and scary? Pip asked. Not at all, Minji said. For a long time, humans were the ones who were scared. We were prey. Bigger animals hunted us. We had to learn to be clever to survive. This changed everything Pip thought he knew. Humans had been prey? Like the cubs themselves? How did you become predators? Pip asked. Minji thought for a moment before answering. Humans became predators because we learned to work together, she said. One human alone is not very strong. We don't have sharp claws or big teeth. We can't run as fast as many animals. But when humans work as a team, we become much more powerful. She held up her hand, spreading her fingers. See these? We have hands that can grip things. We learned to make tools. Sharp rocks became knives. Sticks became spears. We learned to hunt in groups, communicating with each other. Is that why humans are good at technology? Tico asked. Because of your hands? Partly, Minji said. Our hands helped. But I think the bigger reason is that humans are very good at teaching each other. When one human learns something useful, they teach it to others. Those others teach it to their children. Knowledge builds up over time. She pointed to her tablet. This device contains more information than any single human could learn in their entire life. But humans worked together for thousands of years to gather all that knowledge. Mimi was looking at Minji's hand with curiosity. Can I see? She asked shyly. Of course, Minji said. She held out her hand, palm up, keeping it still. Mimi scooted closer. Very carefully, she reached out and touched one of Minji's fingers. Her small paw looked tiny against the human's hand. You're warm, Mimi said, surprised. Humans are mammals, Minji explained. Like you, we're warm-blooded. We have to eat regularly to keep our body temperature up. What do humans eat? Tico asked. Then he looked nervous, like maybe he should not have asked that question. But Minji just smiled. All kinds of things. Humans are omnivores. That means we can eat both plants and meat. Most of what I eat is plants, actually. Rice, vegetables, fruits. I like meat too, but not as much as some humans. She pulled her hand back gently and reached for her tablet. Want to see some Earth food? The cubs nodded eagerly. They crowded closer as Minji pulled up images on her screen. This is kimchi, Minji said, showing them a picture of red vegetables. It's made from cabbage and spices. Very spicy. It's probably too hot for you, but humans love it. She swiped to the next image. This is bibimbap. It's rice with vegetables and egg, and a little bit of meat on top. You mix it all together before you eat it. The cubs made interested sounds. The food looked strange but colorful. This is teokbokki, Minji continued. Rice cakes in a spicy sauce. And this is kimbap, rice and vegetables rolled up in seaweed. What's seaweed? Pip asked. A plant that grows in the ocean, Minji explained. Earth has huge bodies of water called oceans. They cover most of the planet. Many different creatures live there. She showed them more pictures. The cubs saw images of Earth's oceans, blue and vast. They saw pictures of the creatures that lived there. Fish in bright colors, huge swimming mammals, tiny floating things that glowed in the dark. Earth has so many different environments, Minji said. Oceans, forests, deserts, mountains, frozen lands at the poles. Millions of different species live there. Humans are just one of them. Do humans get along with the other species on Earth? Mimi asked. Minji's face became more serious. Not always, she admitted. For a long time, humans thought we were the most important species. We hunted many animals until they almost disappeared. We cut down forests where they lived. We polluted the air and water. The cubs looked sad. But we learned, Minji continued quickly. We realized we were hurting our own planet. We realized that all the species on Earth are connected. If we destroy them, we destroy ourselves. So we changed. We started protecting animals instead of hunting them. We cleaned up the pollution. We planted new forests, and it worked. Pip asked. Mostly, Minji said. We saved many species from extinction. The oceans are cleaner now. The air is better. Earth is healing. But it took a long time and a lot of hard work. She looked at each of the cubs. That's one of the most important things about humans. We make mistakes, big ones sometimes, but we can also learn from those mistakes and do better. Tico had moved quite close to Minji now. He was looking at her clothing. What is this made of? He asked, touching her sleeve. Cotton, Minji said. It comes from a plant. We grow it, harvest it, spin it into thread, and weave it into fabric. Humans make their own fur? Tico asked, amazed. Minji laughed. I guess you could say that.
Humans don't have much natural fur.
We have some hair, but not enough to keep us warm. So we make clothing instead. Why don't humans have fur? Mimi asked. Scientists think it's because our ancestors lived in hot places, Minji explained. Fur would make us too warm. We evolved to stay cool. Our skin can sweat, which helps us cool down. That's why I was sweating when I ran here. The cubs found this fascinating. They asked more questions about human bodies. Minji explained how humans only had 5 fingers instead of the cubs' 4. How human eyes could see many colors but couldn't see in the dark very well. How humans had 1 heart and 2 lungs and a complicated digestive system. Do humans lay eggs? Mimi asked. No, Minji said. Human babies grow inside their mother's body. When they're ready, they're born alive. Like you probably, Mimi nodded. Phyrexians were also born live. Human babies are very helpless, Minji continued. They can't walk or talk or feed themselves. They need constant care for years before they can survive on their own. Years? Pip was shocked. Most species could move around within days of being born. Years, Minji confirmed. It takes humans a long time to grow up. But I think that's part of why we're so good at learning. We have a long childhood to learn from our parents and teachers. She showed them a picture on her tablet. It was a human baby, small and pink, wrapped in soft cloth. This is my brother when he was born, Minji said softly. He was so tiny. I was 7 years old and I thought he was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen. Do you have other family? Pip asked. My parents, Minji said. They still live in Seoul. My father is a teacher. He teaches mathematics to young humans. My mother is a doctor. She helps sick people get better. You must miss them, Mimi said. I do, Minji admitted. Very much. But I talk to them every week on video calls, and I visit when I can. Why did you leave? Tico asked. If you miss them. Minji looked out the window at the stars. Because I wanted to do something important, she said. When humans first joined the Galactic Council, many species were afraid of us. Some still are. I wanted to help change that. I wanted to show that humans can be friends and partners, not just threats. Is it working? Pip asked. Sometimes, Minji said. It's slow. Some diplomats still don't trust humans. They think we're too violent, too unpredictable. And maybe they're not completely wrong. Humans do have a violent history, but we're trying to be better. She looked at the 3 cubs. Like right now. Teacher Vaughn trusted me to watch over you. That's a big deal. He's trusting a human with his students. If I do a good job, maybe that will help him trust humans more. You are doing a good job, Mimi said. You're nice, Minji's smile was warm. Thank you, Mimi, that means a lot to me. She glanced at her tablet to check the time. It's been almost an hour. Are you three doing okay? Do you need anything? Pip realized he was quite comfortable now. He was still a little nervous around Minji, but not scared anymore. She had been nothing but kind to them. I'm okay, Pip said. His siblings nodded in agreement. Good, Minji said. Would you like to hear more stories about Earth? Or we could do something else. I have some games on my tablet. Or I could show you more pictures. More stories, Tico said immediately. The other cubs agreed. All right, Minji said.
What kind of story?
Adventure, history, science. Tell us about human families, Mimi said. What are they like? Minji looked surprised. Human families? Okay, I can do that. She thought for a moment, then began. Human families come in all different shapes and sizes. Some are big, with many children and grandparents and aunts and uncles all living close together. Some are small, just one parent and one child. Some families are related by blood. Others choose to be family. Choose? Pip asked. How can you choose family? By loving each other and taking care of each other, Minji explained. Humans believe that family isn't just about who you're born to. It's about who you care for and who cares for you. She pulled up more pictures. The cubs saw images of different human families, old humans and young ones. Groups eating meals together, humans holding babies, children playing. In my family, Minji said, we have a tradition. Every week on the same day we all eat dinner together. No matter how busy we are. When I was on Earth, I would go to my parents' house. We would all help cook the meal. Then we would sit and eat and talk about our week. What about now? Mimi asked. You can't go to their house anymore. No, Minji said. But we still have dinner together. We use video calls. We all cook our own meals in our own places, but we turn on the video and eat at the same time. It's not the same as being there in person, but it's something. That sounds lonely, Mimi said quietly. Minji nodded slowly. Sometimes it is lonely, she said honestly. Working here at the station can be hard. I'm far from home. Most of the people here aren't human. I can't just pop over to visit a friend for tea, but I chose this work because I believe in it. She looked at the cubs. Do you know what the hardest part is? The cubs shook their heads. The time difference, Minji said. Earth rotates at a certain speed. The day is 24 hours long, but this station runs on Galactic Standard Time, which is different. So when it's morning for me here, it might be the middle of the night on Earth. I have to plan my calls carefully. What do you do when you're lonely? Pip asked. He had felt lonely sometimes, even with his whole family nearby. I write, Minji said. I keep a journal. I write down my thoughts and feelings. Sometimes I write letters to my family, even though I send them messages on my tablet. There's something nice about writing with a real pen on real paper. She pointed to one of the books on her desk. That's my journal. I write in it every night before I sleep. What do you write about? Tico asked. Everything, Minji said. What happened during my day? Interesting things I learned. People I met. How I'm feeling. Sometimes I write about memories from Earth. Things I miss. Foods I want to eat. Places I want to visit again. Do you think you'll go back? Mimi asked. To Earth? Someday, Minji said. My assignment here is for 5 years. I've been here for 2 years so far. When my time is up, I'll go home. I'll see my family in person. I'll eat my mother's cooking. I'll walk in the places I used to play as a child. Her face looked happy and sad at the same time. But I'll miss this too. The station, the work, meeting people from all over the galaxy. It's hard being far from home, but it's also amazing. The cubs were quiet for a moment, thinking about this. Pip had never been away from his parents for more than a day. He couldn't imagine being away for years. You're very brave, Pip said. Minji looked surprised. Me, brave? You left everything you knew, Pip explained. You came to a place where nobody was like you, where people were scared of you. You did it alone. That's brave. Minji's eyes looked shiny like she might cry. Thank you, Pip, she said softly. I don't always feel brave. Most days I just feel like I'm trying my best and hoping it's enough. That's what brave is, Mimi said wisely. My mother says being brave doesn't mean you're not scared. It means you do things even when you are scared. Your mother is very smart, Minji said. Tico had been quiet for a while, thinking. Now he spoke up. Can I ask you something? Of course, Minji said. The stories about humans say you're very strong, Tico said. They say you can hurt people easily. Is that true? Minji didn't look away or change the subject. She met Tico's eyes directly. Yes, she said. It's true. Humans are physically strong compared to many species. We evolved that way. We needed to be strong to survive on Earth. She held up her hand again. These hands can build things, but they can also break things. Human bodies are built for endurance and strength. In a fight, a human could hurt many other species quite badly. The cubs looked nervous again, Minji noticed. But here's what's important, she continued. Just because humans can hurt others doesn't mean we want to. Just because we're strong doesn't mean we use that strength to bully or frighten. She lowered her hand. Strength is a tool. Like any tool, it can be used for good things or bad things. Humans use our strength to help. We lift heavy things for people who can't. We protect those who need protecting. We build and create and carry. What if someone makes you angry? Tico pressed. What if a human gets mad? It was a fair question. Pip was glad Tico asked it. Humans do get angry, Minji admitted. We have strong emotions. Anger, fear, joy, sadness, love. We feel things very deeply. And yes, when humans get angry, it can be scary. She paused. But part of growing up as a human is learning to control those emotions. Learning that just because you feel angry doesn't mean you should hit someone. Learning to use words instead of violence. Learning to walk away when you need to cool down. Do all humans learn that? Pip asked. Most do, Minji said. Our parents teach us. Our schools teach us. Our society has rules about it. Humans who hurt others without good reason face serious consequences. We go to jail. We lose our jobs. Other humans avoid us. She looked serious now. I won't lie to you. Some humans never learn to control their strength or their anger. Some humans do bad things. But that's true of every species, isn't it? There are good people and bad people everywhere. The cubs nodded slowly. Teacher Vaughn had taught them that. The important thing, Minji said, is that most humans are trying to be good. We want to live peacefully. We want to have friends and families. We want to build things and learn things and make life better, just like most people from most species. She smiled a little. You three were scared of me at first. That's okay. I understand why. But I hope you're learning that not all humans are monsters. Some of us are just people trying to do our best. You're not scary anymore, Mimi said. You're nice. I'm glad, Minji said warmly. Tico scooted even closer. He was now sitting right next to Minji. Can I ask another question? Always, Minji said. Why did you want this job? Tico asked. Being an ambassador? It sounds hard. Minji took a breath. When I was younger, about your age, I had a teacher. His name was Do-hyun. He taught us about space and other planets. He told us that humans had just made contact with alien species, that we were joining the Galactic Council. She smiled at the memory. I remember being so excited. Other species? Other worlds. It was like something from a story. I went home and told my parents I wanted to meet aliens someday. What did they say? Pip asked. My father laughed, Minji said. Not in a mean way. He just thought it was a cute thing for a child to say. But my mother looked at me seriously. She said, if that's what you want, Minji, you'll need to study very hard. You'll need to learn many languages. You'll need to understand different cultures. Are you ready to do that work? And you said yes? Mimi guessed. I said yes, Minji confirmed. From that day on, I studied. I learned Galactic Common. I learned about different species and their customs. I learned diplomacy and politics. When I was old enough, I applied to the Diplomatic Academy. They accepted me. Your parents must be proud, Pip said. They are, Minji said. But they also worry. They know this job is difficult. They know I'm far away and sometimes lonely. They want me to be happy. Are you happy? Mimi asked. Minji thought about that. Most of the time, she said. I'm happy when I help someone. When I solve a problem. When I make a new friend. Today, talking with you three, I'm happy. The cubs felt warm inside. They had made the human happy. What about sad times? Tico asked. Those happen too, Minji said. I'm sad when I miss my family. When negotiations fail. When people are afraid of me just because I'm human. When I can't fix a problem no matter how hard I try. She looked out the window again. Last month there was a trade dispute between two species. I worked for weeks trying to help them find a compromise. I barely slept. I missed meals. I did everything I could think of. But in the end they couldn't agree. They both left angry. I felt like I had failed. That's not your fault. Pip said. You can't make people agree if they don't want to. I know, Minji said. My supervisor told me the same thing. But it still hurt. I still felt like maybe I could have done something different. Something better. What did you do? Mimi asked. I cried, Minji said simply. I went to my quarters and I cried. Then I wrote in my journal. Then I called my mother. She listened to me and told me she was proud of me for trying. That helped. Do humans cry a lot? Tico asked. Some do, some don't, Minji said. I cry when I'm very sad or very frustrated or sometimes when I'm very happy. It's how my body releases strong emotions. Tears come out of my eyes. She pointed to her eyes. Human eyes make tears to keep them clean and wet. But we also make extra tears when we're emotional. Scientists think it might help us feel better. And it does, usually. Phyrexians don't cry, Pip said. When we're sad, our fur changes color a little. It gets darker. That's interesting, Minji said. So other Phyrexians can tell when you're sad just by looking at you? Pip nodded. Usually. Unless we're trying very hard to hide it. Were you trying to hide it today? Minji asked gently. When you were scared? Pip looked down. Yes, he admitted. I'm the oldest. I thought I should be brave for Tico and Mimi. That's a lot of pressure, Minji said. Being the oldest is hard sometimes, isn't it? Pip nodded. It was nice that someone understood. I'm the oldest in my family too, Minji said. When my brother was born, I suddenly had all these new responsibilities. I had to set a good example, help take care of him, be mature. Sometimes I just wanted to be a kid, you know? But I couldn't because I was the big sister. Yes, Pip said. That's exactly how it feels. It gets easier, Minji promised. As you all get older, the age difference matters less. Now my brother and I are friends. We talk about everything, but when we were young it was harder. Tico reached out and patted Pip's paw. You're a good big brother, he said. Mimi nodded. The best. Pip felt his fur warm with happiness. Maybe being the oldest wasn't so bad. Minji's tablet beeped. She looked at it and smiled. Message from Teacher Vaughn, she said. The emergency is resolved. The sick diplomat is going to be okay. Teacher Vaughn says he'll be here in about 15 minutes. Oh, Mimi said. She sounded almost disappointed. Will we see you again? Tico asked Minji. Would you like to? Minji asked. All three cubs nodded enthusiastically. Then yes, Minji said warmly. I would like that very much. Maybe Teacher Vaughn will bring your class to visit me again. Or maybe you could come back with your parents sometime. Could we really? Pip asked. Of course, Minji said. I'm here most days. You're always welcome. She stood up and walked to her desk. The cubs followed her. They weren't scared at all anymore. Minji opened a drawer and pulled out 3 small objects. Here, she said, handing one to each cub. A gift for you. They were small pins shaped like Earth. The blue and green ball from the pictures tiny enough to fit on their clothing. These are Earth pins, Minji explained. All the diplomats have them. They show which planet we represent. I want you to have these so you remember our time together. The cubs looked at the pins with wonder. They were beautiful with little details they could see when they looked closely. Thank you, Pip said. His siblings echoed him. You're very welcome, Minji said. Thank you for giving me a chance. For not running away. For listening to my stories. Thank you for the snacks, Tico said. And the stories. And for being nice even though we were scared. Yeah, Mimi added. You're the first human we ever met. I'm glad it was you. Minji's eyes got shiny again. That's one of the nicest things anyone has ever said to me, she said softly. The door chimed. Teacher Vaughn had arrived. The door slid open and their teacher entered. He was tall and covered in scales that changed color. Right now they were a relieved green. Cubs, he said. I am so sorry for leaving you so long. The emergency took longer than expected. Were you all right? We were fine, Pip said. Ambassador Minji took good care of us. Teacher Vaughn looked at Minji. His scales shifted to a warm orange color. Thank you, Ambassador. I hope they were not too much trouble. No trouble at all, Minji said. They were wonderful. We had a nice conversation. Teacher Vaughn's eyes went to the earth pins the cubs were holding. I see you made friends, he said, his voice pleased. Yes, Mimi said. Minji told us about Earth and human families. And she gave us snacks. Rice crackers, Tico added. They were good. Teacher Vaughn's scales rippled with amusement. It sounds like you had quite an educational afternoon. Can we come back? Pip asked. Minji said we could visit again. Teacher Vaughn looked at Minji. She nodded. I think that can be arranged, Teacher Vaughn said. Perhaps the whole class could come for a cultural exchange. We could learn about Earth, and Ambassador Minji could learn about Vrexian culture. I would love that, Minji said. I don't know much about Vrexian customs. I would be honored to learn. Then it's settled, Teacher Vaughn said. I will arrange it, he gestured to the cubs. Come, little ones. Your parents will be waiting for us at the ship. The cubs started to follow him, but Mimi turned back. She ran to Minji and very quickly hugged the human's leg. It was a brief hug, but full of feeling. Bye, Minji, Mimi said. Thank you. Minji bent down and gently patted Mimi's head, careful not to press too hard. Goodbye, Mimi, come visit me soon. Tico and Pip came back too. They didn't hug, but they touched Minji's hand with their paws. Goodbye, they said together. Goodbye, Pip. Goodbye, Tico, Minji said. It was an honor to meet you. Teacher Vaughn watched all this with interest. His scales were a thoughtful purple color. Come along, cubs, he said gently. The three siblings went to their teacher. At the door they turned and waved. Minji waved back, then they were gone, the door sliding shut behind them. Minji stood alone in her office. She looked at the cushions by the window where they had sat, the empty rice cracker container on her desk, the space that had been full of young voices and curiosity. She felt happy and sad at the same time. Happy that the afternoon had gone well. Happy that she had made 3 young friends. Sad that they had left. Sad that she had no one to share this feeling with right now. She walked to her desk and sat down. She pulled out her journal and opened it to a fresh page. She picked up her pen and began to write. Today I met 3 Vrexian cubs. They were scared of me at first. That hurt, but I understood. I've been working here for 2 years, and I think today was the first time someone stopped being afraid of me. Not because I proved I wasn't dangerous, but because they took the time to know me as a person. She paused, thinking about what to write next. Pip is brave and responsible. He takes care of his siblings even when he's scared himself. Tico is curious and asks good questions. Mimi is sweet and sees people's feelings. They remind me of children on Earth. They remind me that no matter where you're from, children are children. They can be scared, but they're also open to new experiences. They judge you by how you treat them, not by what they've heard about you. Minji continued writing, describing the afternoon in detail. The questions they asked, the stories she told, the moment when they stopped being afraid, the small hug from Mimi that had meant so much. I think this is why I took this job, she wrote. Not for the big diplomatic meetings or the trade negotiations. For moments like this, for the chance to change one person's mind at a time. Pip, Tico, and Mimi met their first human today. I hope I gave them a good first impression. I hope when they grow up, they'll remember that humans can be kind. She finished writing and closed the journal. Then she picked up her tablet and opened a video call to Earth. It would be late evening there, but her parents should still be awake. The call connected. Her mother's face appeared on the screen. Minji, her mother said, smiling. This is a surprise. Is everything okay? Everything is fine, Mom, Minji said. I just wanted to talk. I had a good day and I wanted to share it with someone. Her mother's smile grew warmer. Tell me about it, so Minji did. She told her mother about the 3 scared cubs, about the rice crackers and the stories about Earth, about the questions they asked and the pin she gave them, about the small hug that had made her cry later. Her mother listened, nodding and smiling. When Minji finished, her mother was quiet for a moment. You're doing important work, her mother finally said, not just the big diplomatic things. These small moments matter. You're building bridges one person at a time. I miss you, Mom, Minji said. I miss you too, my dear, her mother said. But I'm so proud of you. Your father and brother are proud too. You left home to do something difficult and important. That takes courage. The cubs called me brave, Minji said. I didn't feel brave. I just felt like I was trying my best. That's what brave is, her mother said, echoing what Mimi had said earlier. Doing your best even when it's hard. They talked for a while longer. Her mother told her about things happening in Seoul. Her brother had started university. Her father had received an award for his teaching. Normal family news that made Minji feel connected to home. When they ended the call, Minji felt better. Less lonely. She looked around her office. Tomorrow there would be more meetings, more negotiations, more work. But today had been special. Today she had made a difference to 3 young lives. She picked up the rice cracker container and put it in the recycling. She straightened the cushions by the window. She watered her plant. As she worked, she thought about Teacher Vaughn's suggestion of a cultural exchange. A whole class of Rexian cubs learning about Earth, learning about humans, learning that the scary stories weren't the whole truth. It was a small thing in the scope of galactic politics. But small things added up. One class became 10. 10 became 100. Eventually, maybe humans wouldn't be seen as frightening predators anymore. Maybe they would just be seen as people. Minji smiled to herself. It would take time. Years, probably. But she had time. And she had patience. And now she had 3 young friends who would spread the word that Ambassador Minji, the human from Earth, was actually pretty nice. She turned off the lights in her office and headed to her quarters. Tomorrow was another day. More challenges. More opportunities. More chances to build those bridges her mother talked about. But tonight she would sleep well. Tonight she had done good work. The cubs, meanwhile, were back at their ship. They were telling their parents about their adventure, about being scared of the human, about how nice she turned out to be, about the stories and the snacks and the earth pins. Their parents listened, exchanging glances. A human had watched their children, and the children were happy and safe and excited. "Can we visit her again?" Mimi asked. "Please?" Their parents looked at each other again. Then their mother nodded. "Yes," she said.